If I had to pick my favorite superhero, it would be the Miles Morales Spider-Man. Not only does he master his abilities by learning to trust and believe in himself, he was also a really great street artist. Street art is an amazing form of self-expression, and it comes in all shapes and sizes. In this lesson, we're going to learn a little bit more about street art and create our own on a miniature building. Learners and artists, if you would like to get started learning about different types of street art to inspire you for your project, you can skip ahead. Learners and caregivers, stick with me for a few more seconds to learn more about this lesson. In this virtual mini lesson, your artist will sharpen their social and emotional learning skills by learning their civic duties and responsibilities when it comes to the specific type of art making. This virtual mini lesson includes a lesson plan that adheres to the National Core Arts Standards and SEL competencies. It includes slides, a step-by-step activity instructions, and some suggestions for modifications and accommodations. Before we make our street art, let's get some inspiration. There are tons of different varieties and techniques when it comes to street art. Today we are focusing on graffiti and murals. Let's start with graffiti. Some people call it vandalism, some people like me call it art. Either way, graffiti is art that is made on property that does not belong to the artist. Graffiti can be traced back to ancient Greece and Rome, where people would write their name and poems on buildings in order to protest the government. Let's go over a few types of graffiti. Let's start with tagging. Tagging is a type of graffiti that's done in marker or spray paint. It's usually one color and the signature of an artist. Jean-Michel Basquiat is a really famous example of tagging. If you remember the beginning of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Miles was writing his name on stickers and posting them around the city. Stickers and stencils are a fast way for artists to put up their work. Some people do spend a lot of time on their graffiti. They'll do some drawing, some spray painting, or pasting up their work. It's easier to get caught that way, and we'll talk about that later and the consequences of that. Ultimately, what makes graffiti graffiti is that the artist doesn't have permission to put up their work. The city of Phoenix describes graffiti as a message, slogan, sign, or symbol on any public or private property or surface, excluding the ground, and it's made without the permission of the owner. If you do get caught, you will be charged with a misdemeanor and have to pay to get the graffiti cleaned up, or you'll have to clean it up yourself. Murals are made with the permission of a property owner. A public or a private property owner will invite the artist to create their work. Since this is not illegal, artists can work larger and put a lot more detail into their work. There are all different kinds of murals. There are cartoony looking ones, there are realistic looking ones, there are geometric looking ones. The possibilities and styles are endless. Now that we have some inspiration, let's gather our materials to create our piece of art. Here are the materials you will need to be successful for today. You will need to print this image, which will be provided for you on a piece of sturdy cardstock. If it's not possible to print on sturdy cardstock, you can print this image on regular paper, cut out the shape, and trace it onto a piece of sturdy cardstock. You're also going to need scissors, glue, and any art making media of your choice. Here today I have colored pencils, acrylic paint, and some Sharpies. Before you begin, make sure your paper is rotated the correct way. You want your roof to be at the top of the piece of paper. Plan your architectural elements ahead of time. Think about things like arches, stairs, windows, and doors. You'll notice that I'm using a variety of media. I like colored pencils for the fine lines and the control. I like markers for something a little bit more bold, but still have fine lines. And I like that acrylic paint can quickly cover a surface and is opaque. If you're using paint, make sure your paint is completely dry before you cut out your building. That will prevent any smudging. Fold along the dotted lines of your building away from your body. Make sure that your folds are as crisp as possible, so pinch down or use the back of your scissors to push down. It's time to construct your building. Put some glue on those trapezoid flaps and stick them inside of the building on the side that's not painted. That way you won't have anything sticking out or showing. Pinch down for about 30 seconds. And there you go, you did it! Hooray!